Good day, gentlemen. I've been with my girl for almost 6.5 years and we've built a fantastic relationship together. But getting here took honestly going against what my parents told me, what my father told me about relationships. And I recently watched the documentary series about Tom Brady and saw how much his dad and his parents in general contributed to his success. But I'll be honest, I can't relate to this. I'm not blaming my parents here, not at all. This is not what this video is about. We won't talk about any immature bullshit here, blaming other people for the situation that we're in. But I want to make this video for everyone like me who can't relate to Tom Brady. Men who have to almost fight an uphill battle, who get advice that actually doesn't lead them to the relationship that they want to build and the man that they want to become. This is who this video is for. And this will be a deeply philosophical video. And we'll go deeper with every single step, with every single lesson here. I want to share 6 lessons in total that I've learned over the years. And yeah, this will really help you. So pay attention. Now, for lesson number 1, the reasons why you struggle in your relationship is because most likely you act more like a boy than a man. And we're not blaming you here because as boys, as young guys, we don't get initiated into manhood anymore by older men. If you look at ancient tribes, basically, whether it's the Eskimos, the Aborigines, whatever else, right? Greek, Sparta, the Spartans, right? All those tribes, they had initiation rituals for their boys to be turned into men by the older men of the tribe. And we don't have that anymore. These rituals were basically, there were 2 parts of this, and pay attention to this because this will really open your eyes to how you can become more like a man and feel more like a man. The first part of this was these boys were taken away from all women, including their own mother for a time, and lived among, that's the word. I'm German, sometimes my English isn't perfect, but lived among men. And the second one is they had some kind of wound, some kind of challenge, whether that was a physical wound, an emotional wound, a mental, a spiritual, a sexual, didn't matter. It was some kind of wound. This varied from tribe to tribe, right? But these 2 were very consistent, these 2 themes. And with this wound, well, maybe our wound nowadays, our challenge nowadays as young guys, is that we need to find role models who we can look up to, who can in a way initiate us into manhood. Maybe we need to find those outside of our father or our uncles or our grandfather or whatever else, just outside of our family. We need to look and find those mentors, those role models ourselves, instead of them being given to us like it was basically in all those ancient tribes, right? They just had their father, their uncle, their grandfather, a tribe leader just initiate them. For us, that doesn't happen. For you to understand this on a deeper level, I want to read you a quote by the poet and writer Robert Bly, because he says, "The boys in our culture have a continuing need for initiation into male spirit, but old men in general don't offer it." That's what happened to me. That's what happened likely to you. Society calls this a father wound, right? And that's kind of what it is actually. But here's the thing. That's a wound. Remember, wound initiation, right? We need some kind of wound. And for me personally, those wounds, those challenges that I've had with not really being able to, in a way, look up to my dad when it comes to relationships, what that helped me do is actually seek mentors, seek wisdom, seek guidance from other people, from other men, and in the end actually get to where I wanted to go and still continuing to go where I want to go. Now, I want to read you one more quote by Robert Bly, because he says, "Those with no wounds are the unluckiest of all." And then he adds, "Of course, one can't think that because no such person has ever been found." Use your wounds. Use your wounds to actually grow. Because here's the thing, man. Most men, they try to push this away. They try to not admit to themselves that they maybe have a father wound or a mother wound or whatever else. But then they don't seek that guidance in other people. Then they still look up to their parents in a way, and that doesn't lead them where they want to go. Their parents might not have the relationship that they want to have, right? Admit to yourself that you have these wounds. Not in a way of like, oh, I'm a victim, whatever, but admit that you have these wounds, because then you can actually use them to grow. And for me, like I said, that has like realizing, oh shit, I have these things that are holding me back from becoming a man and from feeling like a man myself and from acting more mature in my relationship with my girl. realizing those things has helped me seek guidance. And funnily enough, I realized this years afterwards. I was seeking guidance from different mentors that fit into the four masculine archetypes: the king, the warrior, the magician, and the lover. I was seeking guidance from people who embodied different archetypes to then become all of them in myself, basically. That's something that you might as well just take and see and be like, okay, cool. I need all these four different archetypes to actually become who I want to become. I need to find mentors who embody these archetypes. And that brings me to lesson number 2, which I want to start off with a quote by a different book, by different authors, who actually wrote a book about those four masculine archetypes. The book is called King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. And these authors write, if you are a young man and you're not being admired by an older man, you're being hurt. If you're not being admired by older men, you are being hurt. And I see this within myself, because here's the thing, man. My dad very rarely told me that he's proud of me, or like showed me that he admired what I'm doing, essentially, or who I'm becoming. And now he does it more and more, but now it almost feels wrong for me to accept that from him, accept his compliments. It almost feels a bit wrong. And with other mentors that I've basically been seeking myself, it feels very right, because they criticize me, right? They tell me what I'm doing wrong. They call me out on my bullshit. But I think criticism only really works when you can also gain the admiration of the person who criticizes you. And one of my mentors, he's quite a bit older than me, and he's kind of like a spiritual mentor. And for me, this guy, he tells me so often that I'm on the right path, and he encourages me that I'm on the right path, and that he tells me that he's proud of me and all this stuff. And of course I pay this guy, right? This is not like free mentorship or anything. I pay this guy quite a bit of money to help me out and to guide me to where I need to go, because what else am I going to do with my life, you know? Like, I need to go where I want to go. Simple as that. I need to become who I want to become. What else is there in life, really, right? Like, that's the main thing. That's why we're here, in my opinion. And for me, it's this thing where I see this, like I said, quite a bit older man than me, who's had a lot more life experience. And when he criticizes me and admires me and tells me I'm on the right path, man, I don't care what anyone says. Hearing from a man, from an older man that you look up to, hearing from him that he's proud of you, I don't care what anyone says, that's one of the best feelings you can get as a young man. And just understand this. You need older men who show you admiration, who show you that you're on the right path. That is one of the most empowering things that you can ever have in life. So seek those mentors. Now, lesson number 3 might be a bit of a controversial one, but I really want you to understand this and deeply ingrain this into yourself. Be very conscious about who you look up to. Be very conscious about who you pick as a role model. And this sounds so obvious, I fully realize that. But then there's still so many guys who just want a fulfilling, long-term relationship, yet they watch some 35-year-old red pill guy on YouTube who can't control his dick and who tells them how women work and whatever else, but he doesn't even have what they want. He's not even the man that they want to be. Don't be that guy. The reason I know this is because I had my Andrew Tate phase as well while being in my relationship, and it didn't help, I'll tell you that. It did not get me where I want to go. It felt very unnatural to me, and it felt just off. Like, my girl called me out on it, and I kind of was like, what the fuck am I doing here? But I wanted to try it, right? I wanted to see. Don't do that. You don't have to do that. I did that for you. I tested it. It doesn't fucking work. If you want a fulfilling long-term relationship, listen to people who have that. Listen to men who are like you want to be. That will serve you, and that will get you on the right path. That will guide you where you want to go. And because I know that a lot of you will be curious of like, oh, what's your role model then? Like, who do you look up to, Benny, right? For me personally, the first role model that really helped me embody a maturely masculine persona and that maturely masculine authenticity and groundedness that I always was seeking was Aragorn from The Lord of the Rings. And you might say, oh, that's a movie character. He's not even a real human. Here's the thing, man. Realize that a real human can never be as authentic as a movie character, because a real human will always hide stuff about himself, right? Let's say Andrew Tate, whatever, it doesn't matter because we just mentioned him. He always hides certain parts of himself. Every human does. I do, you do. But a movie character was essentially designed by hundreds of people who have is that the word, meticulously? I think so. Meticulously thought about how to make this movie character as authentic as possible, right? There's the guys, like the actor, of course, the director, the people who do like the makeup, the people who do the costumes, the people who write the script, whatever it might be, man. All these people, literally for Aragorn, like Lord of the Rings, man, it's probably actually hundreds of people who have thought about how to make Aragorn as much Aragorn as possible. So if you have a movie character, don't be shy about picking him as a role model. It could actually serve you very well. Now, before we get into lesson number 4, which will also be crucial when it comes to picking the right role models, I want to quickly say, if you are a decently successful guy in your 20s or early 30s and you found the woman that you want to spend your life with, that you want to build a lifelong partnership with, but your relationship with her is not quite where you want it to be and you don't know how to take it to the next level, then I want to offer you my help. Because now that I've gone through this whole journey myself and built a relationship that I wanted to have, I feel very drawn towards helping other guys who are maybe struggling in their relationship. I feel very drawn towards getting those guys to that relationship that they want as well. This is why I run this channel, and this is why I offer my mentorship. If you're interested in the mentorship, there is a link in the description. It takes you to a form that you can fill out, just an application form, and you fill that out. And if I see your application and I'm like, okay, this is someone I would like to work with, I can help him with his problems, I'll reach out to you then, and then we'll figure everything out about the mentorship from there. So yeah, if you're interested, check that out after the video. Lesson number 4 is very crucial again for picking the right role models. Now, I want to kick this off with a quote by Lao Tzu, because he says, "Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. And finally, watch your character, it becomes your destiny." And the reason I bring this up is because whether you like it or not, your environment, and especially your role models, influence you very heavily. And they especially influence what you think is possible. They influence your thoughts, they influence your beliefs. And a lot of people talk about limiting beliefs, right? Honestly, I learned something recently. I want to share this with you because this is very, very good. Limiting beliefs don't exist, or rather, every belief is a limiting belief. I learned this from the good old, infamous Nero Knowledge. He has like a YouTube channel as well. Great guy. Anyway, this guy basically helped me understand that every belief is limiting. Whether you believe, for example, that you can only make 5 grand a month, or you believe you can only make 5 million a month, in both cases, you're still limiting yourself. Yes, the limit is a bit bigger on the second one, but it's still limiting. So there are no limiting or unlimiting beliefs. There are, however, aligned and misaligned beliefs. Beliefs aligned to where you want to go in life, and beliefs misaligned to where you want to go in life. I kind of realized this intuitively because years ago, my mom, in like a deep conversation I had with her, she basically told me, well, relationships over time, they just get boring and you grow resentful of each other. That's just how it is, right? The good old, that's just how it is. I didn't take that as truth. I saw, okay, like for her, that's her reality. But for me, I don't want that. Why would I take that belief? That's just how it is. You just grow resentful. You just, whatever, the relationship just goes downhill after a while. Why would I take that belief? And why would I surround myself with people who have those kinds of beliefs and who have those kinds of relationships? I don't want that. Nothing against my mom, of course, right? But in general, those people, why would I want them in my life? Why would I not seek people and role models who have the kind of relationship that I want to have and who help me believe that it's possible to get there? Because, again, your beliefs over time create your destiny. Because if you believe something is not possible, then you won't do the work to get there. If you believe it's impossible to make 10 grand a month, then you will never take the right steps to make 10 grand a month. If you believe it's impossible to build a great body, you will never do that. Same with relationships. If you believe you can't build a relationship that you want to build, then you won't get there. And so seek role models that help you believe in yourself, that help you see that whatever you want is actually possible. Because it fucking is, man. It really fucking is. Me personally, I've always wanted an exciting, peaceful, passionate, fulfilling relationship, the relationship that I have now essentially. And people told me it was not possible, right? But I didn't take that as truth. I saw, okay, for them it might be true, but that doesn't mean that this is a universal truth. For me, this might not be true. Those same people, for example, told me that the life that I wanted to live and the business that I wanted to build and the money that I wanted to make was also impossible. Well, bro, I'm living that life now. They told me years ago that this is impossible. I am actively living that life now. I actively am in that relationship now that those guys and those girls told me was impossible. Because I believed in myself. And because I was seeking people who helped me believe that it's possible. Because again, man, your thoughts create your destiny. So be very conscious about which beliefs of other people you let into your own mind and which ones you just disregard. Because you can do that and you should do that. Now for lesson number 5, this is crucial for all of you to understand if you actually maybe get good advice from your father or from other people in your life. Because oftentimes, especially if they're older, you don't trust them, especially if it's your father, because you have been conditioned to not trust your father. Let me explain. Robert Bly, again, another quote. Robert Bly says, in our time, when the father shows up as an object of ridicule, as he does on TV, think Homer Simpson, for example, or a fit field for suspicion, as he does in Star Wars, or a bad-tempered fool when he comes home from the office with no teachings, or a weak puddle of indecision as he stops inheriting kingly radiance, the son has a problem. How does he imagine his own life as a man? How do you imagine your life as a man if you don't learn anything from your dad? If you just see your dad basically leaving for work and coming home tired and agitated and indecisive and not really passionate about anything, how do you imagine your own life when you grow up? Exactly, not very nice. And so you don't want to grow up. You don't want to grow into a man. You want to stay a boy. You want to have that fun that you have. Here's the thing, man. You can be more like a man and have a lot more fun than you have as a boy because you actually embody, how do I say this, qualities that actually help you build fun for yourself and play. You don't just have to be a boy, or you don't just have to be immature to actually have fun in life. You can be very mature and have a lot of fun in life. But thinking that growing up into a man will actually destroy all that fun, that's holding you back massively. Because it's the age-old story, right? Your dad comes home tired from work. He doesn't teach you anything. He's just there, tired, exhausted, agitated. And then your mom just says, oh, your dad just can't help it, whatever. It's the age-old story. And then you imagine, oh, fuck, when I grow up, it's going to be the exact same thing. The thing is, I haven't found a proper solution to this problem and to overcoming this challenge apart from good old empathy. Realizing that my dad had it a lot worse than I did. And my grandfather had it a lot worse than my dad did, and so on and so on. That helped me tap into empathy and just realizing, you know what? I can actually build the life that I want to build. I don't have to become like my dad in many ways. In other ways, I want to be like my dad, right? Of course. And yeah, man, that has helped me overcome this. Like I said, I haven't, apart from empathy, I haven't fully found a perfect solution for this, but I still wanted to share this because maybe you figure out a solution for yourself. And now that you have this awareness, you can actually find a solution. Now, lesson number 6 is by far the most important lesson in this whole video, because I always keep the most important lessons to the end of these videos, because I only want the guys like you who put in all this effort, who put in all this time, who pay attention so closely. I only want guys like you to get these very deep lessons. And this is a bit difficult to understand, so pay attention here. Oftentimes, your parents might actually give you good advice. Your dad might actually give you good advice. But because your parents, like my parents, whether they wanted to or not, likely made you feel inadequate in many ways, induced shame into you, induced guilt into you, induced all these negative feelings, and just made you feel like you're not good enough. Because of that, it is very difficult to actually see whether the advice that they give you and the advice that other people who maybe made you feel this way is good advice or bad advice. I want to read you another quote. This is again from Robert, not Robert Bly this time, another Robert, from Robert Moore, who basically was one of the authors from King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. And he says this perfectly. And honestly, when I first read this, this made me feel some deep emotions. So really listen up here. If a grown-up moves to hit a child or stuff food into the child's mouth, there is no defense. It happens. And then later on he says, most parents invade the child's territory whenever they wish. Each child lives deep inside his or her own psychic house or soul castle. And the child deserves the right of sovereignty inside that house. Whenever a parent ignores the child's sovereignty and invades, the child feels not only anger, but also shame. The child concludes that if it has no sovereignty, it must be worthless. To be honest, this hit me like a truck when I first read it. And when I taught this to a lot of my clients, it did the same exact for them. It hit them like a truck. It opened their eyes fully. And later on, he goes on to say, the door, so like the door to the child's soul castle, like he said, right? The door moves freely, we could say, because the doorknob is on the outside. As children, we can't control what our parents do, right? We don't have any influence. But then, most adults, most men, they go on to see themselves as a victim. And so here Robert Bly says, I am a victim, the boy says over and over. And he is. But that very identification with victimhood keeps the soul house open and available for still more invasions. This affirms what you likely already know. When you see yourself as a victim, what happens is you put that metaphorical doorknob not on the inside of the door where you could control it, where you can open the door for the right people and close the door for the wrong people, but you put it on the outside. And then everyone can just come in as they please and make you feel inadequate, make you feel worthless, make you feel like shit, give you advice that you don't really want to hear or that doesn't serve you. Brother, realize this. You will only be able to make massive progress in yourself as a man and in your relationship with your woman if you accept that you have these wounds, you accept that you were a victim in the past and that you couldn't defend yourself, but you don't see these wounds as something negative. You see that you have been given a massive opportunity for growth through these wounds that have been inflicted on you, that you had no control over, but now you can take control of them. Once you embody this mindset of seeing these things as challenges that you can grow through, David Data said, the masculine grows by challenge. That's what this is, a challenge, an opportunity for you to grow. Once you see it like that, you bring the doorknob to the inside and you can actually control that soul castle that Robert Moore talked about and grow from there. And yeah, again, if you're interested in my mentorship and you want to learn from me and you're a decently successful guy in your 20s or maybe early 30s, you're in good shape, you're getting on the right path financially, all that kind of stuff, right? You're not at the start of your journey, but you've already done some self-growth, but now you want to really go deeper and really take yourself and your relationship to the next level. Then again, you can fill out the application in the description. And if I like your application, I'll reach out to you and we'll figure everything out from there. Talk to you very soon. I'm back with regular uploads now. I know it's been months since I haven't uploaded, but to be honest, YouTube wasn't the focus. Now YouTube is a big focus again, so I will upload regularly. And yeah, boys, I'm hyped. I'm back. Let's fucking go. Let's get it, boys. Have a great day. Talk to you very soon.